do it. Your name, but I'm your full-time lover, man. Teach me how to dance, and I promise that you make sense. You cook like my mother, you dress like no other. You make tattoos, for you I sing blues. I'm feeling so special, I dream and I'm gentle. I have to admit, the sex is so mental. Oh, you're my fucking queen. Baby, you're my fucking queen. Oh, my baby, you're my fucking queen. Oh, you're my fucking queen. Yeah. Oh, I'm so unbalanced, I'm crazy and honest. You bring me home, let's travel in August. Not ready for babies, with you maybe. Today's in the bed and I want to get married. Whoa.
Dean is home.
Hello, people.
You're really home now.
Yeah, I feel great here. It feels like my flat, actually.
Yeah, it's a nice flat here.
The way you made everything work, your direction.
Yeah, it's still messy. There is still some
okay.
unused place here in the space.
You just moved here, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, but it's a cool spot. I like it.
Yes.
Yeah, and Dean is home. You're not in the street performing. You actually played at home right now.
Yes,
which was incredible, man.
Yes, you can book me. Everybody who's listening, I'm 100% bookable, and I can come and play in your flat if you have some money and everything. You like some good music.
Do that. Do not be afraid. It will make the party crazy.
So should I introduce myself?
Yes, please do so.
Hello everyone. My name is Dean, or DEANisHOME, as an artist. I'm a musician originally from Bulgaria, and I play live with loop machines and drum pads and effect pedals and guitar, and I produce a lot of music. And I'm located in Berlin right now, and I'm happy to be here in this podcast, Son of a Pigeon.
I'm happy that you are here as well, man. What an honor. First time we interacted was when I put my video clip in Nate's event, right?
Yes.
It was the Support Your Locals Berlin, and I was completely pigeoning there.
Yeah.
And you were also with your beautiful jacket.
Yeah. I just came to see what happens and to see what's happening in the local scene. And these events that Nate drops are very cool because they bring not like famous people, but like local artists, and it's nice to go and meet and people who you don't know yet, and they do the same as you.
Yes. It is incredible with that.
And this is where I met this gentleman here who's hosting me, who came with a golden suit and blew the minds of everybody, came on stage and sing in the end, but also presented a music video. It was super nice, and so I was impressed before I met you already.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, right back at you. We just exchanged looks, but then I think 2 weeks afterwards, Lila de la Vega, she invited me to this festival that you played in the streets.
Oh yeah, was it the Fourier Festival?
Yes.
Yes, nice.
Yeah, in this broken church close to there. Mm-hmm. And damn, man, that was a really crazy performance. You were just there in the street, and you somehow cultivate all the attention of the people who are just doing like a half a circle to watch you, one man, perform so many instruments.
Yeah.
But you have only guitar and drum machine.
And the other things are on the ground. I have some pedals, and yeah.
How did you think about this concept to create whatever we have right now? For me, it's clear that you have systems. You try to make stuff as efficient as possible. Yeah. And you just want to perform as much as you can. So you don't want to waste time on shit and on
Well, the thing is, bullshit. If you're asking about the setup, so I took inspiration from people. I'm not inventing nothing. I'm just making my own take on other people's approaches on live performance. For example, one of the artists that really inspired me a few years back, his name is Nether France, and he was performing. He's not famous artist in the States, but active one, real one. He was performing a few years back before I started doing this in this exact way. He had 2 loop pedals on the ground, and he had drum pads, and some other things. But from him I get inspired to try to loop with 2 loop pedals in the beginning instead of only one.
What is the benefits of having
there are many, but I can tell you the ones I'm using it for. For example, you can have something on one loop pedal and something else on the other loop pedal, and they're not connected in any type of way. They're not. They're just feeding. So how I do my chain? Should I say that to the music nerds out there?
Yeah, man. There's some music nerds.
So basically, what I'm doing is I connect my sound sources and bring them into one loop pedal. So my sound sources are 3. I have my voice, I have my guitar, and my drums. Drums meaning my electronic drum pads. So all these 3 sound sources go, some of them through some effects, and then they end up in one of the loopers, then where they become one. And then from that looper, they go to a delay. And then from the delay, they go to the second looper. And from the second looper, everything goes out as one thing.
So what this allows me to do is, first of all, to have more channels, more tracks of looping, because one of my I used to play with just two one-channel loopers, so which means you can have one thing looped, and when you have two, you can have two things looped, you know. And if you have them one after another, what you can do is imagine one of the problems with live looping, in my opinion, is that it takes a long time to build a song. And for the audience, this can be boring, you know.
Yeah.
They watch you press one thing over a long, 20 seconds of loop. So after you build it up, so it takes you minutes to build it up. And with two loopers, what I do is I just loop one bar of my drums, for example, or like a very short amount of it on the first looper. Then this short thing starts looping, and it becomes like a rhythm. And then when I'm ready, I press the second looper while the first one is going, and I play my longer phrase on the guitar, right? So then I have drums and a guitar on the second looper. The first looper has a very short drums. Then when this thing is looped, I stop the first one, and I build my big part of the song on the second looper, right? And then I can stop it, and I can just sing and play the guitar, and then I can bring only the drums, and I can play maybe different chord progression, different part of a song, and then I can get back to the big part, which is on the second looper. So what I'm doing, most of the times I have a big part of the song on one of the loopers and little fragment of the song on the second looper. What you can do as well is, if you want to play more almost like making a rave and like continuous, like a long thing that keeps changing, you can build something on the second looper, then delete what's on the first looper, and while the thing is playing, you can play something else on the first looper that gets recorded only that little thing on that looper, and you can stop the second one, you can build something else on the second, you can go a little bit crazy. And some loopers also have effects on the way out, so it makes it more complicated for me, and it inspires me to try new things, basically.
Yeah, it's crazy. I love it how you use what you have to create new instruments.
And then this way, one of my loopers becomes a mixer, and then I can add effects to everything. So why I have in the middle a delay between the two loopers is because I want sometimes to have delay on the drums, right? And this makes like electronic-y type of stuff. The snare goes with repeats and everything, and then I can control that, but also still keep my dry signal. I don't know, it's a bit crazy having two loopers. It
makes sense, you know, you have full control of what you want to have, and then the experience is way more
you can feed
direct.
them one into another. That's the thing. You can have something on one and then feed that into the other, and then you can delete the first, you can bring another thing, you can just stop them, you can bounce with both of them. It becomes like an instrument on its own.
Yes, I think this is why your shows are so interesting, because there is always something happening.
Yeah. I just try to not be bored for myself. And so that's it.
Energy,
I have like a bass pedal to make my guitar like a bass.
You have a mini wah-wah.
I have a mini wah-wah.
You make it efficient as well with the space.
Dude, yeah. Because the thing is, we are, like, I'm a part of this people who don't work anything else, just play music. And this means for us, many musicians in Berlin, we play on the street, right? So we want to be able to quickly make a show and quickly end the show. So it's a constant fight of what can we bring, and
to make it as big as possible with the less effort.
Yeah.
Man, how long have you been in Germany?
Well, this is the second part in Germany that I'm living in. So in Berlin, I will make 6 years in this November. So now we're shooting the podcast beginning of August, and in this November it's going to become 6 years.
Congratulations.
But before that, I had 1 year in the other part of Germany, in Essen, in NRW, which is west of Germany, close to the Netherlands, where I studied music for 1 semester when I was 23. And later, after that semester, I met one local band that invited me to join them, and I joined them for 6 months, and this was my experience in Germany. Yeah.
And then you came back to Bulgaria?
Yeah, came back to Bulgaria. I traveled a little bit more, and then I went to Norway to work. It was my early 20s were basically me trying to explore as much as I can of the world with as little budget I had.
That's the time to do
Which
that.
means I had to work and apply for scholarships and all kinds of stuff to be able to travel, because I come from a little village actually in Bulgaria, a little city without so many opportunities, and for me it was like a big adventure from the beginning to get out of there.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing when you come from a small place
Yes.
and the world doesn't really have so much impact there.
Yeah, it's just everything happens very slow, and
Yeah.
you look what people do on the internet, and it's what people do on the internet. You don't imagine yourself doing it. Nobody does it around you. But then you can exit that place. You can just dive into the world and see how far you can go, and you see how you can actually make all these things that you wanted.
What was the experience that gave you this hint that there is something there that you want to go and look for?
Well, first of all, let me turn off the battery on my drums for a second,
Yeah, it's important to do that.
so I can still play later.
And while he's doing that, I'm gonna tell you about our battery sponsors.
Yeah, we need some
Tesla.
sponsors, people.
Yeah, we need some fucking sponsors.
So don't be shy to approach us. We are willing to make wonderful deals with you.
Yeah, we make a lot of deals in the podcast. I just released episode with Marta Janovic, and she's incredible. She made Son of a Pigeon, basically, the way that he looks.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and we are looking for someone who will do the booking for her
Yeah.
band. And if someone can give us a reference, he will get photo shooting
Yes.
with styling free completely, as long as you,
Professional one.
yes, professional one. Well, what can we offer them?
Huh?
What can we offer to the people?
To the people
Yeah.
who want to work with us. Well,
Yeah.
what we can offer is to make beautiful art. And
Always.
all of us are gonna prosper from it. What do you ask me before I switch this battery off?
Yeah, I asked you about
When was the moment?
about this experience that you
Yeah.
felt that all of a sudden there is something bigger than what you experienced
I'm
in
gonna
your
tell you
life.
because I think some people that are listening can relate to this. And so I discovered music through a few YouTube videos. So I'm born 1993, which means when I was 13, 14, internet was not in this the way it's now, right? So the way I get into music was I didn't have internet on my computer when I was a teenager. So if I wanted to play a new video game or listen to new music or watch a new movie or something like this, I had to go to the black market and buy a CD.
To the black market.
To the black market.
Hell yes.
Yes, and buy a...
What kind of CDs did you have in the black market?
Yeah, I mean, black market, imagine like a garage with one guy who is selling t-shirts and rings and maybe knives, and there's also CDs with video games and movies that he pirated himself and just burnt in the back of the shop and sell them for like €2 or something, and which in that time was a respectable price. So I bought a video game that had a crazy music soundtrack that drove me into going and buying my first CDs with music, and I discovered punk music from this video game soundtrack, and I fell in love. I watched the music videos and I wanted to imitate them, wanted to live like this, to do this type of music, and I started playing the guitar. I had a band, and we were trying to make our version of this, what we love, or the music we loved, but we were dreaming secretly we want to do this forever in our lives afterwards, but nobody around us was doing it. The only people who we knew were musicians. There was my guitar teacher who was very poor. He was fishing in the river. He was doing construction jobs all the time. He was teaching like for very cheaply, and he was struggling to feed his family. So we were not expecting. We didn't want to have this life. And we didn't see how to do it, but I decided in my last year of high school to just fucking jump and go and study music, because my parents were preparing me to study something else, and everybody around me was preparing themselves to study one of the three things: medicine, engineering, or disgrace for the family. There's no other way. It's like you have to be doctor or engineer, and that's it, or a lawyer. The third one actually.
Or lawyer,
And
yeah.
I was preparing for medicine, but then last year of school, I had the band all through high school. We played festivals and everything. It was beautiful. And then I decided, fuck it, I'm gonna study music. And I went to study music, and then the real thing that really opened my eyes was after the first year of university, I went to USA to work one summer. There was these programs that are very kind of famous and well known in Bulgaria, and those programs are made only for students. So students are able to go and work in US for one summer during their studies. And it's a bit complicated. You have to go through agencies and pay them a lot of money, and you go to interviews and everything. So the whole thing is, it's not easy to do, but you can do it because you cannot just like randomly go to US.
It's like a summer exchange kind of.
Yeah, but
summer camp or what is it?
but what they do is they just borrow some cheap labor from Europe, and they take students, right, who had reasons to come back. You have to basically prove to the people that interview you that you're gonna come back to Bulgaria afterwards.
And you worked there? What did you do there?
And okay, so they invited me. So I went there, and I got a job over the internet for cutting grass in a golf court, groundskeeping, just outside with a machine.
In the US?
US, yeah, in upstate
As
New
a
York.
student, you were allowed to work?
Yeah, I had a J1 visa only for
Okay.
6 months. Yeah, I was allowed only for 6 months. So I went there and I got this job, and it was a terrible job. I almost didn't speak any English. I was 21 years old, and I went there with my guitar and my drumsticks, and and not knowing what's gonna happen. My plan was to make money and make a music studio with the money. Because the money you make in the
Crazy.
US are like almost 10 times more than what you get in America, in Bulgaria, right? So,
where have you been in the US?
well, I was working in upstate New York, which is not New York City, but upstate, which means north in the state, in a little city called Saratoga Springs, near Albany. And this is where I get my name, Dean, from. And I'm gonna tell you about this quickly. But the thing is, they fired me from that job, and they threw me out of the flat.
Why they fired you?
Because I had a little bit of arguments with my boss, and I was not really kind of good at my job, and I was not very motivated to do this type of job. It was a terrible job for me, and I didn't like it, and I really missed music. And I went to one party one night, and with one guy who I met in the park who was also playing the guitar. And in the morning I couldn't wake up in the right time, in 5 a.m, to go with all the other workers, and they left without me. We were sleeping in the same room. They just left. So I took a taxi to the job, and my boss came and told me it's over, and one of the workers is gonna drive you home. You have 1 hour to free the house, and bye.
Crazy.
And it's whole thing happens in 7 a.m, and I'm like hangover, and I'm driving home. I don't know what's happening. I'm freaking out because I had no money on me, and I just came. This happens on the 3rd week in America. My plan was I invest so much money. My parents paid for that shit, for this company to send me there, and so much money were already invested in this thing, and I had like nothing on me, and my plan was to make money every week and keep them, right? So I'm there, I don't know anybody, and I just called the girl from the party, 7:30 in the morning. She's not picking up, and I'm calling the one musician that I met, and he picks up, and I told him, dude, I'm in trouble, can you come? And he said, I'm on it. And he rolled in with his car, 19-year-old boy. I was 21, and I put everything I had in which was not much, in his car, and we went to get a coffee and see what's gonna happen now.
Crazy.
And what happened was
I love those moments, man.
Yeah, and
it's big blessings in those moments.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you the whole story now, because maybe we talk about other stuff. I made an audio book about this story, actually.
Yeah.
It's called
You made a book about it.
I made a book about it. It's called Going to America. It's on Spotify. It's 1 hour long. Just listen to it for free if you're curious. But what happened was,
Yeah, you can put a link there.
I ended up living on a street. I went to live in a homeless shelter. because I had almost no money on me. I had $300, which were not enough for renting absolutely nothing.
What is it called, the book again?
Going to America.
Going to America.
Yes, it's an audiobook. So what happened was the company gave me an ultimatum to find a new job with a contract for 1 week. Otherwise, they deport me back in Bulgaria. And I had to find a place to stay as well. And I found a job. I found 2 jobs actually, like low-paid jobs, you know. But I couldn't find a place to stay because it was the beginning of the tourist season. And in that city, there was horse races, and people were coming from all around the world, and America mostly, to spend their money. And the rents were like $800 for a little room, like too much for me. I had 300 on me. So the hotel rooms were 70 per night, 80 per night. So the homeless shelter was 10 per night. I had to pay there, but I entered the homeless shelter. I was thinking I'm going to stay there for 1 week, and I ended up living there for 5 months. So this was a huge shift in my life because I grew up in a normal house with a room and food and new shoes every year, every 2 years, and everything that I need is there, even though it's like a little village in Bulgaria, you know. And then I'm on the street, and I have no place to stay, no food, no nothing, no money. But I made it through, and it actually was the most inspiring moment in my life. I started a YouTube channel back then.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Just with your phone?
No. The first paycheck that I got from my job, that I got fired, I bought a camera and I bought a longboard, skateboard. That these things were not available in Bulgaria in that time. There's no way to buy it.
And you had the thought that you're going to make a YouTube
channel?
No,
I had a thought that my life feels like an adventure story, and I'm going to be a fool to not capture it.
I love this stuff, man.
Yeah.
This is why it goes well in the end. If you just follow those passions in life.
Yeah, dude.
I'm so happy that you tell those stories.
Yeah, I think it's important to tell these stories because I think the number one question that I get from people, and when you dig deep with people, what bothers them in their life is that they don't like what they're doing. They don't like the job they're working. They don't like the occupation they have, and they have this dream of theirs. Whatever it is, making clothes, making music, doing sports, doing this or that, making this type of money, whatever it is. And it's very hard for people to follow their dreams, but I think if you put yourself in crazy adventure situations, you really understand what you really want. Because if you ask me where did I discover my love for music, and I was completely sure that's the thing I love the most, it was when I was working the jobs I hated. And when I was on the street, that was the thing. Music was the thing that took me up, you know. So, and I just decided I'm gonna follow it forever, and that's it. So this was the big moment when I was 21 in America. You can listen to the book; it tells the whole fucking thing.
Crazy, man. What a good story to start.
Yeah, and then when I get back to Bulgaria, what really happened was that in America, in that city, that vibrant city that I was, a small little town with so many artists, musicians coming for the summer season, I saw so many people doing new things and being brave and writing songs and fucking recording them with their phones, with their iPads, whatever, and just uploading and creating. So I went back to Bulgaria and I was like, shit, I'm gonna do, it's time. I'm gonna do my thing now. So it's kind of, when I saw people doing it, I decided I can do it too, and I just started dropping and recording music on my own. And this was kind of the beginning of the new version of me that I decided I'm gonna create, you know. And so that's it. I took a new name in the States. My real name is not Dean, it's Dimitar. But they couldn't pronounce it, remember it then, so took a new name and decided I'm gonna create a new person, and I'm gonna make it the way I like it. So I'm gonna drop all the fears I have that I can. That's it. So after that was my drive was very high, and I was trying constantly to find ways to travel and learn new things, and that's it. And some interesting things starting to happen.
Yeah, I found it very interesting once you follow what really you want to do, even though sometimes, I do some actions that it feels like I'm going to commit suicide.
Like what?
Like what? Like moving to Berlin, for example.
From where?
I moved from Jerusalem to Berlin.
Directly. When?
When? It was 2017.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fuck,
so I'm
6
here a
years
bit
in.
more than, yeah. It's a long
Okay.
time. I remember when I came here, people told me there are 5 years in Berlin. And I thought,
Yes.
whoa, you've been here
So
for a while.
long.
Yeah, I came here with a suitcase, a bag, and a guitar. That's all I came with. And I thought after 1 year, I'm going to come back to Israel, to my parents.
To
with
collect
no,
the rest, right?
no, it's without nothing. I failed, you know, that's what I thought will happen. I thought
shit.
after a year, I cannot survive 1 year in Berlin. I will fail. I come back to Israel, no money, no nothing. And then I begin something else, you know?
Yeah.
But man, this adventure was the craziest so far.
That's good.
Yeah, and it's just about taking this step. And sometimes people who don't even have this mindset, they hear the story and they think, wow, you must be so brave. But there is no bravery in that. This is the natural way where my energy wants to go.
We have only one life in the end.
Yeah.
And time is not gonna come back.
Fuck no. You have a lot of music as well.
Yeah.
So you're definitely not gonna waste your time doing
No.
stuff that's not gonna come out. How many albums do you have?
I think, I'm not sure. I think between around 21.
21 albums.
Maybe 20, something like this. Between 20 and 22, I don't know. There's the audiobook and there's one album with cover songs that I think I'm going to delete soon. So, guys, if you really want to listen to it, do it. But a lot of people requested it, so I made it. But
When did you start to release those albums?
when I came back from US, because, dude, that's the thing. That the point I was trying to make with the end of that story is that before I went to US, I had a band for 5 years in high school. We wrote 4 songs, 5 songs.
What did you do most of the time? Covers?
We did a lot of covers. It was not so. We didn't write so much music, We didn't finish stuff, and so in university I was writing more songs, but that was kind of nothing was happening. So when I came back from US, I decided I'm gonna record my first album. Let's go. No time wasting anymore. I'm doing it. And I did it. So it took me 1 year. Then I went to, when I came back from America, I started directly writing and recording.
Everything was yourself?
Yes.
One-man show?
Yes. One-man recording studio.
And how did you figure it out? Did you had before that some information how to do that? Or you just, as you
Well,
go, you learn the stuff?
Okay, so the story goes like this. When I went to study music, I first initially went in with guitar. But as I entered the university, I realized I don't want to be taught how to play the guitar. I actually want to play it the way I want to play it at that point of my life. And I would much rather study something else. So I was kind of getting a bit crazy with studying guitar this way. It was like, no, I didn't imagine it this way, right? And I was already thinking I'm going to study sound, like a sound engineering, like working in a studio. This type of stuff, producing this, I thought this is gonna give me more options for afterwards. If nothing goes right, I can fucking work in a studio or radio or TV or who knows where, something with audio. And as I decided I'm gonna study this, and I was all right, I'm gonna be this person. Some of my music friends asked me, Dean, you are a studio person, right? Come and record us. And I went to record them with the very little I had, which was one microphone. One microphone, one audio interface, one headphones. That was it. And I had a second
That's
mic.
very little.
Very little to record a
band.
4-piece band.
Yeah, man.
With drums and bass and electric guitar and singer.
Like you back to the 30th century or something.
Yeah, dude. And I went there and it was so bad. And I realized I suck at recording. So I have to practice. How do I practice? I either have to go and record people all the time, or I just practice on myself. And I just start recording, right?
Yeah.
So this was the initial spark that made me, let me start recording. And as I got into it, it was so fun for me. It was so creative for me. I start learning the programs and how to start building and experimenting. Let me record this, let me put that. And I uploaded some of these things on SoundCloud.
Just the experiments that you did.
Yeah. And some people said, we like it. Some of the other students that were studying film, for example, they said, "Oh, this can fit nicely under visual footage, right?" There was no singing in the beginning, and I said, "Okay, cool, let me fucking go." And I started recording also songs, and I said, "I'm gonna finish the whole album." So I recorded the guitars myself. I recorded everything myself: the drums, the piano, the bass. I didn't have all the instruments. I had to borrow from friends, and I had to go to university. I had to get to the instrument and just bring my laptop and my everything I had, the cables, the interface, the mics, the headphones, and just record the thing. And that was how I started. And then this thing was going. At the same time, I wanted to travel more, so I applied for studying abroad, and they accepted me in Germany. So I went to Essen in the next year. Which was happening like a few months after the trip. So basically 1 year after America, I went to Germany, and I decided I'm gonna, as I entered the country, and it was like October, November, I decided, just finished my first album. I decided, let me do a second album, but can I do it for 1 month this time? And I wanted to drop it for Christmas. I was so inspired by the German Christmas spirit, It was new country, new funny stuff. There's lights everywhere and all that stuff. Many new people in my life, new instruments in my hands. And the second album was a struggle, because for 1 month to finish and write and record and finish something, it's a long time. It's a short time. So, but I realized I can do these things. So in the next moments of my life, I did another album while working in Norway on a cruise ship as a drummer.
While you were on the cruise ship, you recorded another album?
Yes, in my small little cabin.
No way.
Yes.
Wow. With all the instruments?
No. With I had my guitar with me. I had I had a MIDI keyboard with pads and keys. I had mic and headphones. And I had, I borrowed a ukulele, right? And I had some of the songs that, like, okay, realistically said, I made half an album on that little cabin, because the other half I recorded before. But I recorded many things in that little cabin, like small little room, 3 by 3 meters.
How did you manage with the acoustics?
I just did it.
So whatever was there, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
That's amazing.
And I didn't even bring separately mic and an interface. I brought my Zoom H5 portable audio recorder that has
an amazing portable
capsule.
Thing, man.
Yeah, and this thing with a USB direct to the laptop. So I use this thing to the conversion, make the audio to digital. I use the built-in mic. I put the headphones directly in. That's my studio. That was it. And I record the vocals just like this. After finishing my 5-hour gigs on a cruise ship, I come home, I hit the gym, and then I go and I write a song. And I record some of it.
It's incredible.
Yeah. And it doesn't sound great. A lot of I don't think a lot of my early stuff sounds so good, but at least I was experimenting and I didn't give a fuck. I was making them and dropping them.
Yes, this is what's important.
Yeah.
You have a resume of a lot of albums, and people sometimes, they are so perfectionist that there is 0 albums.
Okay, can I ask you a little thing now?
Yeah, but go for it.
Okay. There's a little riddle for you and for your wonderful listeners. Can you imagine a place on Earth that has all the new music that could revolutionize us, that the world didn't hear yet, the new mix of styles, the new pieces? Imagine that place also contains the most beautiful, innovative, creative new paintings that nobody saw yet. New sculptures, there's new books, there's poetry, there's science fiction, there's cures for diseases. There are new inventions that could change our life for better, cure problems in the society. What is this place? That it's a physical place on Earth that contains all these new innovative things that the world didn't see yet. It's made by us, by humans, It's a physical place. It's not some mystical thing. It's a physical place, but we cannot reach it. It's locked. The world is never gonna see it, but it's made, and it's there.
And the riddle is, what is this place?
The riddle is gonna be, I'm gonna tell you in the end what is this place, but can you guess?
Yeah. Is it a Google server?
No.
No.
It's not. You cannot access it. It's like I cannot go there and get it. You cannot go there and get it.
Someone have access to this?
No,
No one.
nobody has access to it anymore.
Oh. Oh.
Should I say?
I need to insert some creepy music in the background.
Huh?
I need to insert some creepy music now.
Yeah, or something
Yeah,
inspiring.
let's keep it for the end.
Huh?
Let's keep it for the end.
Oh, beautiful. I'll
Yeah.
say it in the end. But they're gonna forget what about the riddle. Maybe are they gonna remember it?
The riddle.
No. The riddle. Okay. Or what is that place that keeps all these beautiful secrets?
Interesting. Yeah, I'm
gonna
curious.
tell you. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, let's see in the end.
It's a physical place. And
It's called the mind. It holds
no.
everything in the mind.
It's kind of connected to the mind, but it's a spot.
It's a spot on earth.
Yes, you have it in every country. You have it in every city.
It's called the central bank.
No.
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 It's getting more and more attention here.
Right.
What is this place?
Right.
But Ben, you know what's even more interesting than this place is what you just shared right now, how you record your music.
Yeah.
For me, this is something I highly inspire. That you just do whatever you have
Yeah.
and use the tools that you got in order to create something.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I don't have money to pay anybody to do it for me. And if I don't do it myself, who's going to do it? Nobody's going to do it.
Yes.
Somebody has to do it.
I agree.
And when I went on the internet, started researching some people that inspire me and everything, I found independent artists just like you, just like me, just like the people listening to this podcast. And I saw how much work these people put into their art. Like, there's so many people who drop albums and music videos and stuff, and nobody listens to these stuff, and these things are amazing.
Yeah.
And there's so many people who dropped so many albums before they dropped a really the one that's very appreciated by the public, right? Like
Yeah, it's mostly like that. We see someone getting really successful all of a sudden, and we tend to think it's a one-night success. He just played and someone discovered him. But it's not like that. I believe no one steps on success. When you get this amount of success and you're considered to be the top of the game, of whatever game is that you're playing.
Of your own game.
Yeah. It requires a lot of mental strength and a lot of discipline and a lot of just doing and grinding.
Yeah, I think it's fun to record by yourself and to release music, because also you cannot blame anybody for nothing. It's all on you. When I started studying Tonmeister and sound engineering and recording in university, one of the older guys that were in the next class, he offered me to record one of my songs, and I agreed, and we tried. We went to the studio. He was very deep into the knowledge of the software guy, bringing the right microphones, putting them the right way, opening, making everything just very professional. He was a nerdy guy in a nice way, in a wonderful way. But I didn't like how it sounded, and I didn't like it because I saw there's so much creativity that's involved in recording and producing a song, in my opinion. There's so many ways that you can express yourself, and you can make something wonderful or you can destroy it. And I decided I have to do it myself, so that's it. And
It was too pretty. What was the problem? What was the problem with the recordings that you did with
I don't know, dude. I just didn't like how it sounded. I didn't feel comfortable when we were recording. He was asking me, do it this way, do it that way. No. I'm gonna do it the way I want to do it, in the moment I want to do it, and that's it. When you're recording by yourself, you can do it this way.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm recording my new album. It's gonna come with the name Spanish Omelette. So look for it soon. This summer, in the end of the summer, the beginning of the autumn, it's gonna be out there.
Maybe you're listening to the already 5 new albums that dropped by the time that you listen.
Maybe I had an idea for 2 albums for this summer, but it takes time. So this one I'm recording at the moment, and one of the evenings when I came back from street music, I was listening to my mix and I get an inspiration for 2 more verses, and I wrote them. And it was the moment I wrote them, it was already 2 a.m., 2:30, and I felt so inspired that I just, lowered the light a little bit, roll a little cigarette or something, and I start smoking and recording my vocal lines, and just like this, chilling, no vocal warm-ups, no stretching, no nothing, just like chilling and singing very close to the microphone, very low, and it sounded so good. And the next day it was so authentic. I couldn't do that in a music studio. How can I do that in a music studio? I get an idea, it's 2 a.m., I cannot call the studio and go immediately there. I have to travel somewhere. I have to book people. I have to pay so many people, get their time, get everything and plan it. And then I go there after 2 weeks maybe, or whatever I can book. And I cannot just lay in my underwear and smoke into the microphone, Maybe I can, but there's going to be a different atmosphere. It's going to be in the lights. People are professional. Everybody's looking at their clock. Everybody's paid by the hour. And when you record by yourself, you can do everything you want.
Yeah, there is no stress.
Yeah.
No one is judging your performance.
You don't need to have expensive gear, people.
No,
use whatever you have.
Today, this is the easiest to make music.
Yeah.
Today, it's never been easier to make music, and it's never been easier to spread the music out there.
Yes.
Especially now when there are so many AI tools, and there is no excuse for no one.
Yeah. I mean, there's 100 excuses. There's 99 reasons why not to do something. There's many excuses. But the thing is, we want to drop these things. I found many artists on the internet that are very prolific, which means they release a lot of material, a lot of albums, and it's fucking cool. That's it. So, yeah.
Yeah, keep on doing music, keep on recording stuff.
Yeah,
that's all it's important. You and everyone who's listening as well, yeah.
The thing is, I want to be able to hear some crazy weird music from some guy or girl.
What is crazy weird music?
Well, whatever they want, whatever they like, whatever they can make, I want to hear their I love the fact that it's so accessible nowadays that everybody can record and produce. We can make an album today with this gear in this room and we can drop it tonight.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And we can make a masterpiece.
Yeah.
If we really put
we can make something. We can make whatever we can make.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I love the fact that I can listen to these things that people made with limited resources, and I want to inspire them.
Who recently blew your mind that you find the music weird and creative and mind-blowing?
Yeah, some local artists from Berlin.
Yeah, give me some names.
I'm gonna give you Funky Nilo.
Oh, Nilo is great.
Funky Nilo is blowing my mind every time I see him. This guy is very, very young, full of energy, and plays everything, releasing also music on his own, recording in, whatever he has with recording drums, piano, guitar, vocals, writing crazy songs and singing on the street and looping and making parties. So this is one of the ones that blew my mind.
Yes, he's a great keyboard player as well.
Yeah.
Really
yeah,
good.
Another guy, let me mention another young guy that I recently worked with last week actually. His name is Olaf Putker. Olaf Putker,
shout out to Olaf.
Yeah, he's from the Netherlands and he has a band and releases beautiful original music. Also plays guitar and also plays piano like a fucking motherfucker. And we met and immediately wrote a song and started recording it. And the next time we recorded other parts, and I think I'm gonna put it on the album. So let's see. Yeah. So these two people blew my mind. Well, there are many people that are blowing my mind. Berlin, I meet a lot of them. Let's see another one. Let's bring another crazy person. Another person that blew my mind the moment I moved to Berlin and still blows my mind. And sometimes there's these people that you found them through their music, right? If you see somebody that's playing in your town, it's from your town, you go to the concert and you see they're actually cool people and you become friends, right?
This is amazing when it happens.
Yeah, and this guy is one of these guys that I can call really a friend, and he blows my mind as a musician every time I see him. His artist name recently is Scar Polish. He makes electronic music, but live, with samplers and guitar pedals and also electric guitar, and sings through a harmonica microphone, and the music is very cinematic, I would say.
Cinematic.
Yeah, so the music is, you listen to it and it fits perfectly. Your imagination start going visually, because it's not just like a typical verse chorus pop song. It's like a little trip. Yeah, I would say this. Also, I'm not gonna exclude. I want to also bring somebody that you probably know if you're watching this podcast, if you're into the Berlin music scene. Another guy who blew my mind the moment I met him. His name is Dorian, or Grey Contrast. He's an electronic artist, also young, amazing producer.
Crazy man, yeah.
So shout
So
out
talented.
to them. Shout out to Susie also, Susie Fleur. Tomorrow we're shooting a music video for her song.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, song is called Amazing Haze, and we recorded it in my studio.
This is amazing, man.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful to be involved in a community.
Yeah.
It's just great to be able to support each other. And I think, from very young age, I heard this story about the Seattle music, like Nirvana and Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains and Soundgarden. And from the stories, I realized the reason they were so successful is because they were supporting each other, and they were coming to their concerts, and they were bringing their friends to each of the other bands'
They're creating
concerts.
a scene, basically.
Exactly.
And we are as well doing the same. We are
Exactly.
creating the Berlin scene right now. And there's so much exciting things happening inside that scene.
Yes. There is Zen Studio, which is
Yes.
one of the most, I think, active community hub spots in Berlin. They created a crazy festival 2 months ago.
Zentopia.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I was there only for one day because I had to come back here to make another podcast.
Yeah.
So everything was very spontaneous, but it was beautiful.
Zen Studios is a place that we recommend you to check.
Yeah, shout out to Slady.
Yes.
This man is a crazy working motherfucker.
And a very good drummer and a very good friend.
Yes, incredible person. So much talent, man. So much
Yeah.
talent.
Ask me something crazy.
Well, I want to
What
know
was
about this album, Russian Girl. I mean, you
Which
have two
one?
albums,
Yeah,
Russian
yeah.
Girl.
All right,
There is
I'll
one
tell you.
Russian Girl and Russian Girl 2. And it's only piano.
Yeah.
And you play the piano as well.
Yeah.
How many instruments do you play?
I don't know. One, my brain.
Your brain,
That's the instrument.
and
Everything
then the
else-
rest is channeling.
Yeah, I just bought myself an upright bass 2 weeks ago, so this is the main instrument on the next album. So I tend to see myself not as a professionalist. I see myself as a kid playing in a sandbox and just building things and having fun. And every instrument just is a way to have fun and express yourself. So the question for Russian Girl 2, I made these albums how many years ago? Maybe 3 or 4 years ago, a long time ago. What was happening was I moved to Berlin and I get inspired to be a full-time musician, which in my case meant to play on the street. And I also decided I'm going to start recording albums again because I had like 1 year break, 2 years break. So I don't know what I had. Anyway, I started dropping albums every month. I made a challenge to have an album every month. First, I made one album that took me a little bit more than a month. It was called something with Berlin. I don't know. And then I forgot the names of these things. And
So many albums.
yeah, and then I started deciding to do one album a month. And it's a crazy challenge because you say everything you want to say this month, and then you say something else next month, and then next month, and you have to keep changing maybe the angle you do it from, so it doesn't sound all the same, because it becomes boring for you. Because what happens is, imagine you're making a folk album with acoustic guitar and maybe like this kind of folk instruments, and you get sick of recording and mixing guitar and tambourine and stuff like that, and then you plug your synthesizer and you start making some dark techno music, right? So this is what was happening with me. I try to make the albums different from each other, so I keep my fun, you know?
Yeah, man.
So I got myself a full-size keyboard, the cheapest one you can buy from Thomann, from like for $100, $150,
They're
And-
great, the cheap ones. Today they're fucking
yeah,
incredible.
I mean they work, dude. That's the thing. You can
They work and they can be professional sounding, whatever it is.
you can just
know?
make it. You can just make it. I mean, it doesn't sound like a real piano, yeah, but it sounds not too bad, right?
works.
Now I have a real piano. I have mics for it, and I record my piano the proper way. But back then I had none of that. I had one tiniest room in a Vigea that you can find in Berlin. It was 9 square meters. And I had a music studio and a bedroom there. All in one. So
Crazy.
I had to lift my one-person mattress every morning so I can have space for my instruments that were all in the corner on top of each other. So on top of everything, I had like 88 keys, and I started playing the piano. And I decided I want to make an album on the piano, and it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different from everything else I do, because I want a different outlet. I want to learn more that instrument, so let's make it into an album. So I met one Russian girl, and that time I was playing on the street, playing the guitar and looping, and she was we had a little kind of romance or something for like a few weeks, and she inspired that album. So every time I thought about her, I was kind of writing these piano pieces, right? And I gave them names connected to what we did, you know, going to Alex or Platz, whatever, this thing that I forgot the names of them, the songs. And then a year later or 2 years later, I think it was a year later, I met another Russian girl, and then a few more Russian girls, and I decided I'm gonna make another album called Russian Girl 2 that's gonna have like names of different girls that I met, and some of them were inspired by real people. Some of them were kind of in my mind, and maybe I kind of work with my inspirations from different people, and you know, I made like a second album with every song is the name of a different girl, you know, and
Bless
those
Russian
were my
girls, man.
Huh?
Shout out to Russian girls.
Yeah, to all the girls, to girls from everywhere, and to
I have some weakness to Russian girls, that's why.
Yeah.
I love the language. I love the Russian language.
Yeah. It's a
Are they
beautiful
speaking
language.
it in Romania? In
Bulgaria?
In Bulgaria?
No, but we have the same alphabet.
Yeah, this
and
Greek.
we can maybe understand 50% of it. Like our parents, this generations, they had it in school. But
It was part of the Soviet Union, right?
yes, my country, Bulgaria, was part of the Soviet Union, unfortunately, and we had a lot of influence in the politics and also in the culture, so language as well.
Yes.
But it's a Slavic language, so we have 50% similarities.
Yeah, and definitely shout out to all the women and all the ladies and all the girls,
Yeah.
whatever shape they want to take.
Yes.
Bless you, girls. You're incredible in this world.
Beautiful inspiration for music,
Yes.
and not only.
When I think about the fact that you combine a lot of activities together. So you are practicing, learning a new instrument, and while you're doing that, you also record it, you make album out of it, and then you put it outside.
This is how you learn it, right?
Some people just learn, and they don't make an album out of it. They just play. And I think because you do that, it saves you a lot of time. It's like you're doing 1 week basically in a day.
Maybe, yeah. It just it's more fun, you know. It's
way
let's
more
go, and then I learned, as you said, more things at one time. Because what happened was a month ago, a friend of mine, Brian Grayson, a wonderful singer-songwriter from US, he went to travel back to America, and I asked him, "Can I borrow your upright bass?" Because he had 2 upright basses in his kitchen. And he said, "Yeah, take it." And I took it.
Take it. It's huge instrument.
Yeah. And I took it. You have to get the bigger Uber if you want to transport this thing across Berlin. So I took it, and immediately I fell in love with it. On the first day I played 5 hours. My fingers went completely fucked up the skin, because the upright bass has these thick strings. And I realized I have to buy one, because after 3 weeks I have to return it. Right? On the second day I broke a string of his bass. and I started looking for basses, and I found one. And as I was playing it, I was counting these 3 weeks that he gave me with his very nice, very valuable instrument, and I decided, okay, this thing is with me for 3 weeks. It's very expensive. I cannot buy this type of bass right now, so I'm gonna use the time to really play that instrument and take the most out of it.
Yeah.
I watched tutorials. I was trying to fit a few hours every day, and as I was playing this instrument, some friends, other musicians, called me and said, "Dean, can you record a bit of bass for me in September, for example?" And I said, "Okay, people are gonna ask me to record it. I better learn how to record it first." So I have a little bit of advantage.
And then you
right?
practice about
Then I
recording,
started
and
myself.
bam, there is a new album.
And then I realized it's gonna be in the new album.
Crazy.
That's it.
And how do you make the double bass as the main instrument of the album?
It's not the main instrument. It's inspiration-wise, you can say. The main instrument could have been the piano.
The piano.
Because
Is it a jazz style album?
huh?
Is it jazz?
I would say more kind of folky.
Folky.
Like a folky. Okay, so what this album is gonna be is there's gonna be one different version of one of my songs that people tend to like, and I really like as well. I wrote another one, and I wrote a kind of honky tonk old school piano version of that song. Cool. And it just sounds so good. And my friend said, "Dean, you have to record that version." And I record that version, and then I get inspired to write more songs on the piano, and I recorded them. Now I had nicely mic'd piano, acoustic piano in my flat. So I said, I didn't had that in my previous albums. Let me use that this time and have it around the piano. And then the bass came, and I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be the bass and the piano. So the bass is a bit of a tricky instrument to be recorded, people, because it's an acoustic instrument, and it has to be in a good shape. And
the low end is the trick, right?
Huh?
The low end, the bass, this 50, 80 kilo hertz, the 50,
Yeah,
80
I heard
hertz.
that. I heard that.
What?
That this is where it stays.
But this is the problem to record with acoustic bass like that, right? Because it's not really direct, so you don't have so much control of those low frequencies.
Well, in my case, my bass is a bit broken, so I'm bringing it to a luthier.
It's a different problem.
Yeah, so when I play it, the top is vibrating and
So it
flapping.
makes sound.
So it makes an extra sound that's in the end of the tail. But the main thing is, for me, as somebody who was recording music before, is the upright bass feels and sits in a very different way in the song and in the mix than, for comparison, a regular electric bass.
Yeah.
And I heard that comparison in one video, and I really like it, so I'll share it with you people. The guy said, I forgot his name, when you're recording on a normal bass guitar, the attack is short, which means the sound comes very quickly, and it can be very long, right? You can make very quick phrases and play it it's a long, heavy, big sound. The upright, in comparison, the attack is long, so it takes more time for the sound to come in, and it's shorter, but it's beefier, so it's almost like shooting a cannon, like boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. It's like you don't play like a short, like phrases like on a bass, and you glide the notes. It doesn't have frets, so the sound is a bit different. But I found out it layers very nicely with acoustic bass, with electric bass. So both of them together.
Oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
Nice technique.
Yeah.
Then you have fat bass that you can
Yeah.
use for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and you can play it with a bow, which takes a long time until you master it, but we have time.
Yeah, we're going nowhere.
Yeah, we're gonna make music. That's what we're gonna do. So the new album is inspired by this. There's gonna be some new songs that I just recently wrote, and there's gonna be a recording for one song I play since 1 year, but the recording was not done yet, and I'm gonna bring it into this album. Ride the Wave, a song, a heavy, fast, heavy song with a lot of guitar and fuzz and real drums, and this is gonna be a nice drop. And on this album, I had some friends coming in and recording parts. Shout out to Wes Davis on the violin, playing some crazy licks. And Nate Bernardini is gonna be on backing vocals, and Scott Hildebrand is gonna be there. Olaf Putkir, as I said earlier, and that's it. And October, another wonderful artist who makes original music here in Berlin, a female artist. She's gonna drop her vinyl soon, and she sings like an angel. That's it.
Yeah, she's incredible.
Yeah.
She's incredible. I had my first podcast with her.
Really?
Yes.
Damn.
She was not the first one that I published, but the first recorded was with her. If you see when I published it, I think it was number 13.
Wow.
And it took me a long time because I really fucked it up with this podcast. I recorded only her microphone, luckily. So I had to listen to myself and then record it.
Wow, that's cool. Dude, but you
It was
found a
crazy.
way, dude.
I found a way. It took me like double of the time that we did the podcast. So it took me maybe 4 hours just to do that, even more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found a way and it was worth it.
Yeah,
She's really incredible.
She's gonna be on the album. She's great artist.
Man, this is
Good
insane.
friend.
Unfortunately, we have to finish this podcast.
Yeah.
But there are so many that I would love to talk about as well. But we
Well,
keep it for another time.
Yeah. Should I say this thing in the end?
Yeah, definitely. We have the riddle. But before we say about the riddle, how can people find you?
Oh yeah. So you people that listening, thank you for your time. My name is Dean, or the artist name is DEANisHOME. One word altogether, DEANisHOME. And if you just Google this, you're gonna find me. I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, Instagram, mostly active, YouTube as well, Facebook, TikTok, but Instagram is the platform I'm sharing most, and Spotify. So come down. I'm going on tour next week, so I'm gonna be away from Berlin, but listen to the new album. And one thing that I didn't say in this podcast, but I really want to mention, is I released a movie about my life, and it's called...
Yeah, I want to bring it up. It's good that you brought it up.
Yes, I'm gonna bring it up because...
Yeah, maybe talk about it a little bit.
Yeah,
before we
just a little
finish.
bit. I just want to say, while playing on the street, I was approached by two incredibly smart, inspiring young people. They go by the name Secret Media, Berlin, and they are 13, 14 years old when they approached me. So they were there was a filmmaking crew. They're 13-year-old filmmaking crew. One of them, Julius, he decided he's gonna make movies when he was 9 or 8, and this was his idea for a long time, to make a full-length documentary movie. And they wanted to make it for a street musician, and they found me, and they decided, let's go, let's tell your story. And it took us 2 years to make it. Took them 2 years, which includes filming different locations in different seasons, on the street, in my old studio, in the park, many things about my life. And it's 37 minutes long. It's on YouTube. Search for it and watch it.
Yeah, put the link down there so people can scroll down on their Spotify.
Fuck yeah.
And have the link, make it easy.
Yeah, so you can watch the movie on YouTube. It's called DEANisHOME Documentary by Secret Media. And you can listen to the new album, The Spanish Omelette, on Spotify and all the other 21 ones, if you want
Really,
to.
man.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank
and
you
I
for
wanna
coming, brother.
Dude, it's really my pleasure.
I want to bring up the fact that you're a crazy savage. And
Yeah,
I
we
love
are.
your
You as well.
energy, man. I love
Thank
your
you.
mindset. I love how you keep on pushing, you keep on doing. You don't let any excuse come in your way.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just find how you break through and continue to do what you want. And fuck the rest, man. I love this.
Well, we have one life, and we don't know how long it's gonna take, how long this beautiful moment is gonna last. I feel strong, full of energy right now, and that's it. Let's go.
Yeah,
So
man.
I just want to mention the riddle.
Yeah, let's say the riddle and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. So earlier in the podcast, I asked you people for the place and word that contains all the new beautiful new music and art and visuals and paintings and movies and inventions that can potentially and will change the world. But we didn't see it yet. Nobody saw it yet, but it's there. It's a physical place. And this place it's in every country, in every city on the world. It's a physical spot. And that place is the graveyard.
The graveyard.
And you know why? Because these people died with these ideas. For whatever reason, they didn't drop them.
Do you think ideas belong to the people, or people belong to the ideas?
I think with music, we belong to the music. When I think about music, I don't think it's my music. I think I'm serving the greater thing,
Yeah.
the music. That's why it's not important that my music is better than his or her music or whatever. We're all doing the same. We're trying to make music, good music for everyone. So I don't want to bring all these ideas I could have with me in the graveyard, and I don't want you to do that too. So drop these ideas.
Yeah. Come empty to death.
Yeah, drop.
I love
everything.
this. Where did you hear it? This riddle.
I'm gonna lie if I said so. I'm a little bit.
So lie and say something nice.
Okay, I'm gonna say something nice. I think it was on a book of Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn.
Jim Rohn. Yeah, he's one of the legends.
Yeah, I think it was from him, but I'm not sure.
If it was from him or not, it's good that you mentioned him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and go watch Jim Rohn and DEANisHOME. Thank
Let's
you,
go.
brother. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, son of a Pigeon, for having me.
It's a new song. I wrote it for my piano and my upright bass. It's called My Upright. Up is to sit on my favorite chair, playing my upright, and the snow can keep falling, it will be alright. When I started like this, I love my piano and everything that it brings me. I got to sit and play it every day. I want to leave my house today. Now it's just you and me, my fingers pressing gently as you sing back to me, back to me. About my upright bass, 'cause I did not expect you, but you bring me so much space, and this will be the summer. I give all my love to music and not to someone, and this will be the summer. I give all my love to music and not to someone, no, and not to someone. Do the music and not to someone. I'm getting late for my meeting. drives me mad, drives me mad. Someone, and this will be the summer. I give all my love to music, and not to someone. This will be the summer. I give all my love to music, and not to someone. Yeah. Boom. Next song I wrote with my friend Scott Hildebrand from Chicago, and it's called Behave. Bass. That's okay. If you wanna stand up all night and sleep all day, some people wanna tell you you should act your age. They just try to sell you to live in their cage. Don't really have to. You don't really have to. Behave. The day I found my spirit, don't let them come in near me. I'm gonna be the prophet by surfing on in my dreams. And my dose of sadness, it motivates my fire. Today I'm gonna die, now I'm strong, I'm making albums. Hey, father told me this and a tragic joke. I line I'm running free because I'm magic. I don't care about this money, brave, my girl still love me. Hell, I'm in my 20s, my riot is a long case. My riot is a long kiss. My riot is